Welcome, everyone, to Phillies Unfiltered, along with my co-host, Jim Russo. I am Brent Tracy. Jim, how are we doing? I think I know the answer, but tell me.
Feeling pretty good. It was an exciting week of baseball, so I'm content. I'm happy. It was successful, so nothing to complain about at the present time. How about you?
Uh, yeah, it makes for a boring podcast, I think, when we're not complaining a
Oh, just
ton,
a little
which
bit.
we'll find some things to complain about. Yeah, but no, overall, I agree,
I'm
man.
sure.
What a great week of Phillies baseball, and they're playing good ball right now for the most part, and they just won not just won but swept a really tough series, which I thought was going to be a really tough series. They handled the Rangers, and that was really
Yeah.
good to see. So
Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
it's good week, good times. So um,
Indeed. Absolutely.
so a lot of times we start off with a kind of a just a fun topic, something interesting to just discuss that's maybe not directly Phillies related, but and you had suggested this a couple weeks ago, I think, but I figured I liked it, so I'm giving you credit for coming up with it,
Thanks.
but I'm going to ask you the question. There's a lot of, I think, thoughts about whether grown men, grown ups to get generally, but I think specifically grown men should be bringing gloves to the ballpark, to a major league baseball game. Should they bring their glove to the park? Now, I think this is there's different. I've seen all kinds of comment threads with thoughts and opinions about this. I know, I'm pretty sure I know where you stand, but I'm going to put it to you. What do you think about that? And how do you respond
That's-
to the people you don't agree with on it?
so so it depends on where I'm sitting. Like when you see some of the things that I posted where we're sitting like behind home plate, close to home plate, I'm not bringing a glove. But I'm
Right.
sitting in the outfield, sitting in right field specifically. I'm not catching a 115-mile line drive from Kyle Schwarber with my bare
Or
hands.
Bryce Harper. Yeah.
Or, just for example. So I think it's perfectly fine to bring a glove to the ballpark depending on where you're sitting. I mean, if you're in the outfield, it makes sense. If you're
Yeah.
you got a potential. Like, thank goodness they put up the nets. You can bring that up
Yeah.
forever. But if they didn't, like I'd be bringing a glove anywhere down the first and third baseline.
Yep.
So in the outfield, perfectly fine with bringing a glove. I'm not going to break my hand, break a finger, by by trying to snag a scorching line drive, um, like that. We've seen what the professional baseball players can do. Like,
Yeah.
what if it was Shohei getting it off of his bat, or Neil Cruz, Bryce, Kyle Schwarber? Think about all these guys that roped the ball.
Yeah.
No thanks. I'll take my glove protection, and plus, I'm protecting my family in the process. Like, Ashley's not going to have a glove. My kids aren't going to have a glove.
Right.
Well, Noah might, but I have more reach. I can prevent somebody getting drilled in the face.
Right. Yep.
So that is my thought process on that. What about you? What you got here?
I mean, we line up on a lot of these issues. I think these things, and yeah,
Yeah,
you're. I think the seating arrangement is absolutely a big part of it. If I'm, in the second or third deck in foul territory, I probably am not as concerned about that. That it's
right.
but yeah, if I'm our seats, as are in right field, sixth row in right field, prime home run territory, and yeah, when the ball's getting out there and it's that low, sometimes
Yeah,
it gets hit really hard. So um, I'm not barehanding that. I mean, it's possible to catch a ball that's hit, a home run, but if you're talking about one that goes up and then comes down, that's not as bad as one that's screaming off the bat with an exit velo of like 110 or 112 or something crazy like that. And
right.
like to your point, Bridget doesn't. She's like, you're catching a ball if it comes at me, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm paying attention, like I have my glove on, it's ready to go, especially when those kind of guys come up when, it's that kind of likelihood that it could happen. But yeah, I mean, like you said, if you're right behind home plate, if the ball comes to you, it's not going to be hit hard. It's just not physically possible that it can be hit so hard that you can't catch it without a glove, because it's going up in the air. It's got to pop over that net to come down, and you don't need you don't need the glove
The
to
webbing.
soften the
Yeah.
blow. Yeah, you
Right.
don't need it as much. Um, so yeah, that's my answer too. I mean, I think it just, I think it's a little,
Okay.
I think it's a little bit, dismissive and kind of maybe people just trying to be macho about it or whatever. Like you don't need a glove or that's childish. But I mean, it's a kid's game for
Yeah.
one thing. Baseball's a kid's game,
Yeah.
and I
It's a
think
game in general.
the kid in you. It is, but it's. I mean, it's made. It was made. They say it was made for kids. I mean, obviously, adults played it from the beginning too. But it's a game, as you said, and it should be fun. And it's a
Right.
good way to kind of go back to simpler times, just to go to a ballpark with your glove. So, yeah, I just that was a good one. That
Yeah.
was a good topic though
Just
to suggest because
yes. Right. Absolutely. Thank you. So speaking of fun, how about the Phils this week?
yes. How about them? So we had two series this week, and we won five of the games of the six we played. So 5-1 record this week, which is
Yes.
fantastic. Played the Orioles, took 2 out of 3 at home against them. And then, of course, we just got done as we're recording this Sunday night. The Phillies, just a couple of hours ago, closed out the series with the Rangers in Arlington with a sweep, which was really good. I would have been happy with 2 out of 3, but the sweep is just, the
Me
cherry
too.
on top. So that was really great to see, and they played a well-rounded week of baseball. Wouldn't you agree? Like it was just,
Hmm.
I think overall they,
Absolutely.
yeah,
So they look like a completely different team. Like the way
yeah,
they're playing right now. We both had the opportunity to see a game this week.
yep,
Um, like just watching them ever since the trade deadline, getting Duran and getting Bader, they're both making differences in some way. Like Bader's just starting to come along. He made a heck of a grab today, robbing a home run. The game I was at Monday night, he got his first hit, which was a big 3-run homer.
yeah.
Shout out to side notes. So shout out to Noah. Uh, One of the ushers asked Noah who was going to hit a home run in that game. He immediately said Bryce. First inning, Bryce hits a home run. He also said that Kyle was going to hit two, and he did. And oh my
Wow,
goodness, were they amazing! Uh,
yeah.
I've never taken a better live video in my life.
I know you
uh,
say, man, that was great.
I may have shouted some expletives that are not for this podcast. However, it was absolutely crazy. It was so loud in there. Hearing the MVP chants for Kyle Schwarber, that was something out of this world. It was amazing. Just like, and then as far as the team goes, like the bullpen has a structure now, and they all seem more confident.
They have
Like,
assignments.
right, and it was brought up in the broadcast today, and it's glaring. Like Tanner Banks, excellent today.
Yeah,
Orion, excellent. Matt Strom, good enough.
better
And
than
Duran, I can't. Yeah,
yeah. Strom's
better.
been better than he has been. Yeah, he was better
Yes,
than
and
he has
then
been.
and then Duran is untouchable. That
Yeah,
that sweeping curveball to Jock Peterson, who's hitting that? That
yeah.
was that was amazing. I mean that was untouchable. I don't have any other word. It started at the belt and ended up at his ankles.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. He's
it was a
filthy.
strike all the way. And it's like he's bringing that 102 mile an hour fastball, 98 mile an hour
He
splitter,
hit
and an 89 mile an hour sweeper.
he hit 103 at one point.
Yes,
I
yeah.
mean, the guy just is throwing gas, and it's not just gas like you pointed out last week. It's with movement, and what are you going to do with that? There's nothing. There's nothing you can do with it.
So, so the bullpen has turned around and is showing very, very, very strong signs and getting better.
Yeah.
I think they have improvements today. I mean, we didn't see him today, and then Alvarado is going to be an improvement. I think wear them down, use them every day if you have to.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so I went, like you said, I went also. I didn't go to the explosive game that you went to. That was just, man, that was fun to watch, even on TV.
Yeah.
But I went to the next game, the game after that, and we a few home runs came near where we were, right in our area. Kepler's was right in the front of our section. Basically, it was 5 rows ahead of where we were. I got a text from my buddy Mike, who's a friend of the podcast, a loyal follower.
Thanks, Mike.
He said he goes, looks like Kepler's trying to make you eat your words or something like that. He was just like he's trying to, he heard what you said about him, and I'm like, well, good, I'll keep talking crap about him, and hopefully he starts hitting more.
He pinched hit on Monday, and I was like, you're still hitting 201, you bum, and then struck out.
Well, that's what I did. When I said when he hit the home run, I turned to Bridget and I was like, I don't know if I said he still sucks. I'm like, or he's still bad or something like that. But I was just like, a very typical Philadelphia fan fashion. But also, we have expectations. We were paying you $10 million for a 1-year contract, and you have not produced to that level. So yeah, I need to see more from you, man.
Until Tuesday, he's been hitting well. He's been hitting the ball hard since Tuesday.
Well, and
he had a good series.
And Marsh has been
him.
Yeah, but I mean, so the game I was at, he had a home run, he had a double. I think he had 3 hits in that game, if not 4. But he's had a lot of multi-hit games, and not just multi, but like 3-4 hit games lately. He is feeling it, and I've never seen him break the way he is right now in his career. So anyway, great time. We had a really good time. I will say, we were at the game that where the booze rained down on poor Max Lazar because he wasn't Duran.
Yeah, right.
It's like, this poor guy, and my wife was one of them. Bridget started booing. I'm like, what is this doing to you? Like, like leave him alone. I was like, she's like, why aren't they bringing him in? I'm like, it's a 5-run lead. And then Topper got on and explained it logically afterward. It's like, oh yeah, I heard the booze. He's like, we have a 5-run lead. He's like, I've got a 12:30 game tomorrow. He's like, I have to save him. Like, it was a good decision, obviously.
Monday night, a guy a couple seats down said to me, watch them put up a 10 spot. We're not going to see Duran. And, they put up 8.
But look,
this is before they put up 8.
Right. But we needed him for 2 games in this series because of the way the circumstances were. So you shouldn't pitch him unless it's needed, unless it's been like 5-6 days and he hasn't had any work and you need to get him in, obviously. But 2-3 days, you don't need to rush him out there if he's not needed. I mean, you want him fresh. You want him, in the situations that you got him for. And he is very clearly, as you said, the 9th inning guy. No other inning, no other situation. It is an assigned role. And that's what I think you're starting to see, as you pointed out, that structure forming. Kerkering and I'm assuming Alvarado's going to get a lot of 7th and 8th inning work too, but you're seeing Kerkering and Romano in the 7th and 8th more. I think it's still matchup based, but Topper seems to be getting a feel for where he likes these guys now that there's a guy at the back end that he knows is there.
So the bullpen has gotten deeper big time with Duran there. And honestly, he's had light work. He hasn't had to stress.
I think he's only allowed 1 base runner in his entire
today.
Yeah,
today.
That's it.
I mean, it was a hit, but
but that's going to happen. Some
soft contact,
right? I'm more worried about the ERA and the saves, and he's picking those. That's all great right now. If you give up a hit now and then, whatever.
4 for 4 with a 0 ERA with the Phillies on. I'm
fantastic.
So
it was great. Yeah, no, it was a great week. I feel really good about a lot of what they're doing. I try not to get ahead of myself because still got 2 months of the baseball season left to go, basically. But a little less than that, but still, you get what I'm saying. I mean, we have a little ways to go. We have a lot to consider. Let's start getting into it. Our favorite segments. We do these all the time. Studs and duds. Let's get into it. What do you have for your stud of the week?
My guy, Brandon Marsh.
Your guy.
my good buddy.
You have a close personal friendship at this point.
Yes. I mean, he's acknowledged me, so we're practically blood. But I saw a note before we started recording this. I saw a note. It was before the game today. He had one at bat today. He's hitting .339 since the break.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's pretty darn good, and that's the production that we need.
And he's hitting the ball the other way too. Like that last night, he's just going with the pitches. He's not trying to do too much. It's great.
when he's pulling the ball with power.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's another great thing to see. I'm going to throw some flowers towards Bryson Stott too. I
Fair.
saw he's hitting 277 since the break,
Good.
but he gets on base. You know he's going to work his walks too, and like he's been making much better contact. He had a big hit
Against the
the other
lefty
day.
last night. Last
I
night.
mean, so he's doing what he needs to do. The glove is always going to be there. He's made
Yep.
amazing plays, and you saw one. Was it Tuesday night? I think you saw one. You were there.
Yeah. Yep. A
And
great.
so
Oh, yeah.
the range, his range is next level.
Yeah.
You know, Bryce made one tough today for him because he got a little over aggressive, but it was a close play. They challenged it. They got him out. It's like, hey,
Yep. I saw
going.
that. Yep.
But like that's the only crutch that Stott has is Bryce going to go too far? What do I have to do? Like how long do I have to hold the ball?
Yeah.
But Brandon Marsh looking solid out at the dish. He
Yeah.
was he struck. I think he struck out looking today too.
I don't. Yeah, he struck
it
out.
was
I
a good
can't remember if
pitch.
it was
It was a
looking or.
good pitch. It was
Yeah,
a good
but
pitch.
but it's going to happen. And the bottom line is his strikeouts are down because his out making is down. He's getting hits. So
his contact is way up, and
yeah,
it's great. He's had good at bats, and he's producing, and that's what we need out of. He's hitting
yep,
six, and he's actually showing that he belongs there.
yeah.
So I'm okay with it. I'm happy with what he's done, and I hope he continues it. How about you? What do you have? I'm assuming it was the same.
Well, no. So I kind of had a hint that you were going to do that, and also I had Brandon Marsh last week, so I didn't want to double
Okay.
down on that. But I mean, obviously Marsh is an excellent pick for that because he's earned it. I mean, he's playing great baseball right now. For me, I'm going to say I really have two. If I'm going to cheat a little bit, I have one really really obvious one, which is Kyle Schwarber. I mean,
Yeah.
just the amount of power this guy can supply. It's just that home run, the game you went to, the first one, the Grand Slam was great, but that first one was in. I mean,
With
the
no
only
doubt.
person to hit the ball that far in that stadium was or in that spot was Ryan Howard. I mean, that's pretty elite company. Up to
Yeah.
that third deck. I mean, he is, and it's funny when we were at the game. Bridget was going. She's going. New contract or give him a new contract, like chanting things. And, and of course the MVP chants are going around too, but it was just like, and she's also a lawyer, so she's starting to like actually state terms of a contract. She was getting real nerdy with it, but, but I mean, she's become really a big fan a little bit last year, but especially this year. And she's recognizing the importance of him to the team and
Yeah.
like how good he is. It's not hard to see that, he's playing himself into a really good contract for him, but it's going to be tougher on the Phillies, and we'll talk more about that, of course. But it's you can't ignore the fact that he's having the best year of his career. I mean, his batting average is over 250. It's 253 right now, which is I'll take that any day from Kyle Schwarber.
Absolutely.
41 homers right now, 95 RBIs. That pace of RBIs is insane. I mean, he is
Yeah.
driving runs in at an insane clip right now. Just love watching him hit the ball. And though it helps though when the guys behind him are hitting. Bryce has been doing pretty good. Although I think he was kind of quiet in the Rangers series, aside from that double today. If I'm
Yes, he was.
you
He
know,
was very quiet in that
but
series.
but in the Orioles series he played really well, and before that he'd been hitting really well. So I mean, we'll give him a couple of games as long and it seems like he's kind of he had that
And
big
it
double
helps.
today. So
And it helps when the guys in front of Kyle are hitting too. I
yeah.
mean, they're getting on base, giving him opportunities to produce.
Trey
He
with
had
another road home run the other night.
you know what? If as long as he's getting hits, getting on base, he doesn't need to hit a home run
Absolutely.
at home for me. I don't care. Just produce runs and play the solid defense that you're playing.
Yeah, I'll give him that credit, and we'll talk about that. I'll weave that in later, but yeah, no, he's
Okay.
he's I was harsh on him early in the season, and I think rightfully so, but he has
Yeah,
answered the
he's been.
call, so I'm giving him that. But the other one
I'll
I'm
give
going
him
to say
very good. I'm sorry.
is
Go ahead.
Duran. And I say that, I mean,
Hmm.
that might sound obvious too, but the expectations on him coming in were very high. Um, And that's not always easy. We've seen that before, whether it's signing a guy to a contract that the expectations are high and then you have to live up to that in Philly, or a trade. It doesn't always pan out. A lot of times they can't handle the pressure of playing in a city like Philadelphia. Durant
Yeah,
seems to just relish it. He seems to love it. He came from Minnesota where they don't really spend a ton. They don't really push super hard to bring in big time players and try to, I think he was sad to leave, it sounded like, because he had relationships with a lot of different people around the organization,
right.
but you can tell he is excited to be there. Like, he's in a pennant race now. He's in a city that loves baseball, and you just can tell he's just embracing that, and it's fueling him. And it could have gone the other way. And I mean, it's
Yeah,
still, but I feel great about how he's pitching right now. It seems like this is a great environment for him, and it's really encouraging that we have 2 more years with him on
yeah,
the
it
payroll,
is.
because that's
Lock
such
them
a
up.
that yeah, it's been such a sore spot for us over the last few years of not having a steady closer. That is such a, like, that's such a relief. And it's like, okay, well, we don't have to worry about that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just something you can
We,
just say that's dealt with. We can focus on other things. We don't have to worry about that part of our bullpen, and that's great. So some people might say, oh, obviously you're going to pick Duran, but again, I'm picking him less so for what he's done and more so because he has, I would argue,
thrived.
exceeded expectations, not even
He's
met them.
thrived.
Yes, and
He
I think
is.
that's hard. It's hard to do in that
I mean,
situation, and I
I mean
applaud him
he's
for it.
yeah, to come in your first game, with the
Yeah,
team and throw 4 pitches and
four
get three
pitches.
outs,
Yeah,
and like like the city was on fire. It was great, like so. Keep up the good work. I can't ask for anything more out of him right now.
absolutely. So now I guess let's go to the negative side of things, and talk about duds. Who do you have in that
It's tough.
department?
I had a hard time with this one.
Me too,
Uh,
which is a good thing.
uh, so but I'm gonna go with pitching. It's kind of a toss up between Ranger and Wheels. Uh, Wheels just doesn't look right. I mean, he's pulling a lot of pitches. He's yanking a
Yep.
lot and missing a lot. His velocity's down. Just doesn't seem to be, top shelf Zack Wheeler. And like, something's off. He says he feels fine, but it's almost visible that he's not.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yep.
he's got. I mean, that was a good idea pushing him back a couple of days, but he likes to be on that 5 day rest. He agreed to it, I'm sure, to sit because he was feeling sore, but
Yeah.
something's not right there. I think I kind of have to pick him and Ranger. Like Ranger kind of imploded. He couldn't get to the one ground ball, and then everything just went downhill.
Yeah.
For him was against the Orioles.
Yeah. I can't. I don't know that I would agree with the Wheeler being a dud. For him, obviously, yes, he's not pitching to his level, but
For
he's still pitching
it
well
was
enough
it
to
was a weak
win,
week.
despite it not being his best. It's, and it's
Yeah,
weird. He pitched decently today. Just, I agree. He was not. The results were decent. Let me restate that, or revise that. The results were good results, and that he only gave up. It was 2 runs on that homer, but he still was getting outs and everything. It was just he was laboring, and like you
yeah,
said, he was overthrowing, and his pitches, his command has been off the last 3 or 4 starts, I would say.
yeah.
But
So
again, he's so elite that even when he's doing that, he's still giving them a chance to win
it's.
the game, which is, I think, a
I mean,
testament to how good he is at his best. But
he's
you know,
he, he's a great pitcher. I have higher
oh,
expectations
absolutely.
for him
I
because of
I
what
don't
he's done in the
disagree.
past.
Right, and I don't
Like
disagree with that.
throwing 85 pitches in 5 innings is too much.
Yeah, I no,
Like
I
he
agree,
needs
but
to
I'm
throw 85 pitches in seven.
yes, and
Go
that's
on,
what we
sorry.
need from him in the playoffs, of course. But and down the stretch, but I. I hesitate to give him dud status for me personally, but Ranger, yeah, I think
That's
that he's
fine.
getting into the territory where it's um it's getting concerning. So I'll touch more on the starting pitching later with some, later on about the different segment. But again, I can't disagree with the assessment. Wheels does not look like himself. I agree with that 100%. Something's not right. Hopefully, it's
That's
not a
fine.
real serious issue, and it's just he's in his mid 30s now, and he gets sore, and it's harder to bounce back from. Hopefully, it's something like that, and not something more lingering. But yeah, we'll see how his next start goes. For me, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Strom. He's been better this week, but still not where we need him to be in that pen. I need him to get back to the Strom of the first 2 years that we've seen in the Phillies uniform. I need to see that Strom the rest of the way, because if he's that Strom, with what, like you talked about, the reinforcements we're getting, Robertson, if he can come in and pitch the way he did last year, Alvarado, if he can come in and pitch like he has something to prove, which he does because he's got a contract running out here, bullpen could be almost unhittable, if those guys are all on and doing what they're capable of. So I need Strom to be that kind of first or second guy out of the pen with the group that we
Mhm.
have now, to kind of open the pen up and set the tone of like, okay, I'm going to get these outs and set it up for the real hard throwing dominant guys. And that's what he's been the last 2 years. So I need him to get back to that. I'll give him credit, though. He did pitch better this week. Did give up a home run, was it last night, I think. So, um,
He did
you
last
know,
night to
I,
Seager. Yeah.
yeah. So still not where I need him to be. But again, I was a little nitpicky this week because it was a really good week, and I struggled
It
to
was.
find an obvious person to pick, which is a good thing, that they're playing well enough that that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna go
The
go
way.
with that. What
Yeah.
about what
The
about pros? What do you have for the pros?
okay. The defense. The defense has
Me
been
too.
excellent outside of Ido Kemp, honestly.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the defense, Trey, they put in Edmundo to for as a defensive replacement for Kemp, and he made
Made a
plays
great
right
play.
away, and then
Yep,
and Edmundo was making plays yesterday, and then
yep.
Bader making the catch he made
The home
today,
run, Rob.
and
Yeah,
that was awesome. Um, I mean, then of course Bryson and JT, all of them, like
yeah,
they're solid on the defensive side right now, and it's great to see. Um, and
yep.
then like the offense of the backs, like the bottom of the lineup. Your Brandon Marshes, your Bryson Stotts, your Max Keplers this week. That's
Yeah.
exactly what you need, and they're producing. And they're they the, Kepler won that game on Saturday night.
Yes, he did.
He
Yep.
he drove in Marsh, he drove in Bader. Like, that was huge, and that's your bottom of the lineup because the 1, 2, 3 did not do anything Saturday night, nothing at all.
Well, and that's the
So
sign of a team that's what you need if you're going to be a championship team. When
yeah,
your top guys have an off night, the bottom half of the lineup needs to step up, and they did. That's what you want to see. So,
so
yeah, yeah, no, that's a great call. I had defense too as my pro. You cannot uh, discount the importance of defense. I've talked about it all season long. And again, we talked about Trey. I gave him a lot of grief for his poor defense early in the year, and he not just early in the year, but just since he's been here, he's really not been that effective defensively. I'll give him credit. The last 2 months is probably been the best he has looked in a Phillies uniform defensively, and I give him the credit. He's put in the work. Seemingly, he's more
absolutely.
focused out there, and he's making some really good plays. Do I still love him as the shortstop for several years beyond this? No, I don't, and I'm not going to change my mind on that because I think he's gonna. I don't think he's going to get better and better as he gets older. That's a tough position to play as you age, um,
Right.
but for right now, this season, I'm okay. I'm okay with leaving him there. We don't need to move him to the outfield. He has proven me wrong for this season that he is capable of doing that job. So, and then yeah, like you said, the outfielders. they had a little miscue today where I think that's partly
Yes,
because Stott and Bader aren't familiar
it
with
was
playing with each other. They
right. It
probably
was
don't know
right in
each
between
other's.
them.
It was a tough play, but then Bader really made up for it later with that home run, Rob. That was perfectly
Yeah.
timed,
Yep.
beautiful play. I like Bader. I like his energy. I think he fits in really well with this group. He's kind of the Brandon Marsh ilk with his energy, I think, and I really like that. Um, you can tell he's excited to be there, and I think well, time will tell, but I think he's going to prove to be a good pickup. It's not Austin Hayes, which I said last week.
He's better
There's
than Austin
another
Hayes already.
level. There's another level to his game that Hayes did not display to me, and I really like so far what I'm seeing from Bader. I
Yeah.
think that was a good pickup. So.
So
The
far,
other
so
one
good.
I will say is you had said the bottom of the lineup, which I think is a good one. I'm going to say the late game offense.
Yeah,
Um,
that works.
they kind of in a lot of really the last few weeks have been a little slow to start in a lot of the games, but the sixth, seventh inning on, they just explode. It seems like it's 1-0, 2-0, and then all of a sudden they go off on a big crooked number like a 4 or 5 spot in the
Mhm.
seventh inning or something like that. Doing that is a really good recipe for winning baseball games because it really just throws the other team off. They get into this kind of cruise control. It's like, all right, we're going to get down to the wire here. Then you put up a number like that in the sixth, seventh, or eighth inning, and it really makes it hard to win the game after that point if you're the opposing team. So they
Yeah,
need to do that. They need to do that all the way down to the end into the playoffs because that is and the '08 team with the guys we love from back then. They did that all the time. They were
they did.
dangerous every inning and especially late in
Yes,
games
they
they were
were.
clutch. So I like what I'm seeing. I like that they're
Yes,
coming
me
up
too.
with runs in spots that they need to. So I applaud I applaud you guys for not quitting on games. Really, honestly, I'm not seeing that like I have in
Right.
some years past. They are really committed to fighting to the end in most of these games. So good for them.
Mhm.
Um,
So
yeah.
it kind of leads me into my dud a little bit.
Oh,
It's
you
the
mean the con?
energies at times when, like, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, my con. Sorry, my
That's okay.
fault.
I knew what you meant.
Uh, yeah, it's the energy at times. Like when they're not scoring you, they just look dead.
Yeah.
I mean, when they weren't producing early in the game, they're just bad at bats, bad swings. Bryce looked disinterested Saturday
Yep.
night against
Lazy,
Degrom. Like
lazy
didn't
at
want to touch
bats.
a
Yeah.
single thing that he was throwing. It was yeah, lazy at bats. So I think energy is a problem early on, or was a problem at points early
Yeah.
on. If they're not producing early, they seem to get discouraged. Like, oh, this isn't happening tonight, guys. But you got to keep fighting. Uh, and then I guess can I say player development as well? What's going on with Andrew Painter? Um,
Yeah, I've not been hearing good things. I think you said we might not see him this year. We definitely won't see him this year based on what
yeah,
you know. But I do think, he's still coming back from Tommy John. I think you got to give him a
might be
little bit of,
tired.
he might be tired. He still might be building up his stamina. I don't know. But I'm not going to pull the panic or push the panic button on him yet. I think what I need to see, though, is go through the offseason, do the fall league stuff again, and then come to spring training. I want to see how you look in spring training. Don't care about the results, never do in spring training, but I want to see how
Right.
he looks. And then if he can win that spot, which I hope by next year he be on in our rotation at the bottom of the rotation at least, then we'll start to evaluate, is he the real deal or, is he just not going to be what we hoped he would? That conversation is down the road for me. I'm not overly
Yeah,
concerned.
it's too soon.
I'm a little annoyed that he's not, pitching lights out. I would certainly hope to see him just, dominating, but I'm not gonna push the panic button yet on
Yeah,
him.
I wouldn't harp on it either. But I
Okay.
just thought I'd bring it up because he did not look good last time I saw
No.
him.
No, but
But
Alvarado did. He's
yes,
looked
he
pretty
did.
good. We won't have him in the playoffs, but like you said, if we can just expend every ounce of energy we have from him for the rest of the regular season, let's do it and let's get that postseason positioning underway here. But yeah, so I think that's fair though. It's something to think about. Um, for me, the con right now is just the starting pitching. It's just not been sharp enough lately. Um, I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit concerned because
Mhm.
you know, you do need them to be you need them to dominate. I mean, that's a huge part of what our success is built on this year, and the way we're going to win in the playoffs is by having dominating starting pitching. And if they're off in the
Right.
playoffs, it's going to make it a lot harder. If we have the starting pitching we had early in the
Yeah.
season, uh, and we've pitched. I think Ben Davis mentioned it, which I knew this, but he reemphasized it the other night. Our bullpen has pitched the least amount of innings in all of baseball, because our starters go deep into
That's
games.
right.
6, 7, 8 innings
They
is
do.
not unheard of for that group. And that might be part of the issue, right? They may be overworked, and I want to give them the benefit of that doubt,
Mhm.
because that is a lot. You're this far into the season. You're in August. You've been pitching. I mean, they have so many quality starts. 6 innings. Everybody knows what that is. 6 innings or more. Or most people do probably at this point, but for those that don't, that's what it means. You need to you have to do the six
At
inning
eight innings,
and our
less than
yeah,
3 runs or less. Yeah.
right. Yeah, of course that's another criteria. Yeah. But our guys do that, and they've been doing it all year,
They
and I think
do.
it's catching up to them now. Ranger, I mean, he's had durability and injury issues, of course. Wheeler seems to be suffering from a little bit of fatigue, maybe a minor injury going on that we're not sure of. But we do have Nola coming back.
I was about to
Hopefully he
say.
is ready to go. Hopefully he can kind of, and this is kind of how you do that, right? You can piece this together, and then by the end you make your selections based on who's got the hot hand, who's been pitching well, who's the healthiest, of who are going to be your guys in the playoffs, right? And Thompson's going to have his pick. He's going to have choices and options, which is a great thing to have. Um, I want
I
to
mean,
also say
yeah,
we haven't talked about it at all. Taiwan Walker,
was
Taiwan
excellent.
Walker's start at the game I went to, and you pointed out, you said, "Oh man, what luck you have!" It's like the fourth start I've seen of his this year in person. but but again,
Yeah,
it was the best start he's had
good.
in 2 years, like you said. He
Yeah,
everything was
that's what I
working.
said.
He makes some great plays on the mound. I mean, we know he's a good athlete, and he picked somebody off. I think you and I, the game we were at, he picked someone off. I
He
think,
did.
and then so I've seen him pick two guys off in person this
He
year,
did.
and he's the best on the team at that. No question, he's the best pickoff move on the team.
Yeah,
He's a great
he
athlete.
is.
Um, he's not going to be in the rotation come playoff time. He may be back in the bullpen. I don't know what that's going to look like, because you expand rosters. There's all kinds of stuff that happens at that point.
Mhm.
But but the point is, different
You'll see
guys are
some time.
stepping up, and it's kind of interesting. It's not the usual suspects. It's a lot of, like Marsh is a great example too. I wouldn't have picked Marsh to be not carrying the team, but a huge contributor at this point in the season when we saw him earlier in the year. You
Right.
just don't know how things are going to shake out. So I think we're in good position because we have so many weapons right now, and at least some of them seem to be always
And
on, at a given time. And I
yeah,
think as long as
right.
that continues,
Uh,
we're going to
uh,
be okay.
the biggest weapon right now is the Mets are scuffling. It's
Yeah,
Mets keep losing.
five
Yeah,
and a
I love
half.
it.
5.5 game lead in the division right now. That is the biggest we've had all
And
year.
some
Um,
and some winnable games
yeah,
coming up.
right. And well, we're going to have
So
some tough ones too. We still have we have
that
another
too.
series against the Brewers in Milwaukee at some point, I believe.
Yeah, that's gonna be
That will be
tough.
tough. They scare me, like I
They're
said,
good. They are
beyond
good.
any other team. I do not want to play them in the postseason. I understand you got to beat the best to be the best. I get that. Um, but I don't want to face them early in the playoffs. Let me restate it like that. I don't want to face them early in the playoffs. I'd
You're
rather face them after they've been
we
through.
won't see them really.
I would hope not.
Yeah,
But
they're gonna
right
go
now,
through
no.
one
If we
team at
win the
least.
division,
They'll have to go through one.
right. But if we win the division, they win the division. No, that's not. I don't think that's gonna. It's they're on their way to being the top seeded team at this point. So, we'll see.
We could
But
be
yeah,
two
I
at
think
this point too.
we could. You never know. We're playing well right now. We're creating separations. I think we're
Two
19
seed,
games
two
over
seed, two seed.
500. Yeah. What did I say?
Good. Heck, I know. I was just reiterating or specifying the number 2 seed. I didn't mean
Oh,
Too. for
Oh,
first
no, no, no.
base
I
for
knew
the
what you meant.
the
Yeah,
number
no, no.
two.
I knew what you meant. And that's yeah. And I think that's a good spot to be. I honestly I'm not worried about seeding too much,
Yeah,
other than I don't want to play the Brewers early, right? Like that's kind of it. um, but yeah.
right.
So the other one I want to say just kind of generally, we sort of talked about this already, but you know, do you have concerns too about the starting rotation outside of Sanchez? Because right now Sanchez is the only one that I'm like
Um,
100% like I trust this guy every time out.
so, so Luzardo's shown signs lately. I mean, he
Hmm.
did not look good at the start Monday night when I was there and I saw his start. He let up a home run in the second to Tyler O'Neill, was just a meatball that he crushed. But he steadied the rest of the way. Like the few other innings that he had after that. So he let up
Yeah,
one other run, and then Friday was a Friday night he pitched, and he did what he needed to do. So not as concerned as I was for him just yet. When he's pitching out of the stretch, that's when the eyebrows go up. It's like, hey, what's going on? Sanchez has obviously been
yeah,
excellent. Wheels and Ranger, their health is a concern. I think Wheels will be okay. Ranger's going to wear down, and I'm a little concerned about that. And then, but we have Nola coming back, and hopefully he's looking sharp. And should Ranger go down like with an injury of some kind, if he needs extra rest, Walker's been
yeah,
serviceable. He's been good. So
yeah,
we have another guy that we could throw in there. Hey, throw Ranger in the pen if you have to. I mean, it might
yeah.
come down to that in the playoffs if he's not able to give you 5, 6 innings.
Well, like we said, Topper's going to have some options for how to juggle this
Thank
kind of stuff,
goodness.
and that's a good yeah, it's a great thing to have when you go into the postseason. So they're in a very good spot right now. It's going to continue to be about executing on the offensive side, and the pitchers just need to make their pitches and then let the chips fall where they fall. You know, there's no guarantee beyond doing those things how it's going to end, but if they do those things, they're going to have as good of a chance as any team in baseball of winning it all. I truly believe that.
Yeah.
So they just got to stick to that. But I will say, when the Luzardo point, if playoffs come and he does go to the bullpen, I would say definitely don't bring him in to face people in the middle of an inning with runners on, because he
Middle
can't. The
innings.
stretch is just a
Yeah,
problem. No,
absolutely.
no, in the
Absolutely.
middle of it, yeah, yeah, don't bring him in relief just to
Yeah,
like
that's what I
get
mean.
guys out, like inherited runners. But
Right.
if you start an inning with him, like especially he is dominant against left-handed hitters. If you have a couple of left-handed hitters coming up in an inning, and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, start the inning, go for it. And then if he has to face a righty after that, whatever, the three batter rule, you just do it. It's worth the gamble. But he has been really tough against left-handed hitters.
Right. You
So
think
there's
like
value in putting Luzardo in the bullpen. I think
right.
it's just how you use him.
You think of that Dodgers lineup. You think of Max Muncy. You think of Freddie Freeman. You think of Shohei.
Yep.
That's three left-handed killers. Like
Big
so,
bats. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
big bats, and Lazardo could be a guy to get them out. Like he's shown that he can get them out on the second series of the year against the Dodgers. Like
Yep.
so, what if it's the end of the year he can still get them out?
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. I think there's a I see a path there for that. But
Mm-hmm.
and then we've talked about it already. Robertson going to be rejoining or he did rejoin the team today. I'll be very interested to see how effective he is. He looked good in
Right.
AAA, really good outings. If he again, that's a huge key. If he can be effective as a seventh or maybe sometimes eighth inning, I don't know how Rob's going to use him, but I'm sure he'll be in seventh and eighth inning
I
situations.
think so.
That'll be really helpful, in just bolstering
You
the this
got you got
bullpen.
you got four guys that you can rotate within the seventh and eighth inning. Like that's
Absolutely,
awesome. And
Romano,
you got two lefties and two righties.
Robertson,
Not I'm not even thinking about
Orion.
Romano. I'm thinking about Orion, Robertson, Strom, and Alvarado.
Yeah,
Romano
well,
shouldn't see anything beyond the six at this point.
but honestly, I think Banks is my go-to lefty later now than Strom. I would start with Strom now, and Banks has been very effective
He has.
lately.
He's very good.
I would go to him as my left-handed specialist in like maybe the seventh if you're talking about like I don't know. I mean, it's going to depend on, the availability and all that. But the point, he has options. You're going to have Alvarado and Banks available in that spot potentially. Strom is
Yeah.
not so much so effective against lefties as a left-hander. He's more of just like if he's on, he can get outs regardless of left or right. And I think you have to think of him that way more than you do think of him as like, oh, he's my left-handed guy. I think of him just more as a general reliever who, when he's on, gets outs. So
Mhm.
the other two, yeah, you're going to use more in matchups, at least I think. So,
Right.
um, but anyway, so Jim, we have covered a lot tonight, a lot.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
But we are at your favorite segment, and that is Guess That Philly.
Woo! I'm ready to get stumped.
Are you? All right. I don't know. We'll see.
I
Maybe
don't know.
we'll go. We're
Depends on the
going.
years.
Yeah, I know it does. I know, and okay. So we'll see. I I'll start by saying this guy debuted in 1987, the year I was born. He debuted
Yeah, I
in
was
that
born
year.
too. Come on.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we went to school together, but I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
80 kids born in 88.
Yeah, I was in '87. I'm a late
I did.
'87 baby.
Okay, so good, and that's a better. It's obviously an objectively better year, but
Oh, obviously. Some
anyway,
good sports teams back then. But go ahead.
absolutely. Flyers went to the Cup that year.
Did
Anyway,
go to the Cup. They lost to the Oilers. But
but
maybe.
so he debuted in 1987 with the Mets. So already you're probably not liking this person just for that fact, but
Lenny
I know how
Dykstra.
you. I know no, it's not Lenny Dykstra. Um,
Okay.
but that's you're in that right. You're in that time frame for sure. So specifically, he was with the Phillies from '95 to '98. Those were his
Okay.
Phillies years. He played a total of 14 seasons. So started
Okay.
in
That's great.
1987 and ended his career in 2000. So a pretty lengthy career, and he was there the whole time. He was solid.
Hmm.
Had a pretty solid career.
Yeah.
Um, threw right-handed, batted switch. He was a switch hitter.
Switch.
Uh,
Okay.
first base and left field were his primary positions. Um, I have a lot more, but any thoughts right off as so far? Any? I know you mentioned Dykstra. It's not him, but not a terrible guess in what we're talking about here.
I don't remember if this guy hit switchy though.
Okay,
Uh, uh, this guy hit for the cycle at any point in his career?
that I don't have. I could
It wasn't Greg
look.
Jeffries, was it?
Oh my God, it was.
Oh!
You're unbelievable. I I cannot believe you got that without more. Honestly, I think so. The switch hitting thing.
I just knocked
That's
it with
where
my
I
hat.
went because I remember him. I remember him as a switch hitter, being a really good switch hitter. That was impressive, my friend. I did. I
Thank you.
for
Thank you.
that little information, I got to give you that. That was your crowning achievement in this segment all season so far. That was really impressive. Um,
Wow.
he had a
Thank you.
289 career average, which is really impressive, I think.
He was a good
Not as
player.
many home run.
He was a
Yeah, he
he was a
was.
good player.
He was a very intense hitter. Like I remember him being very intensely locked in at the plate. But he only had 126 homers. I don't know why. I thought he would have had close to like 200. But um, RBIs he had 663. And yeah, I mean, 14 seasons. I didn't realize he played that long, honestly.
I think.
But
I,
yeah, and then this is a
as far as
fun
the
tid.
cycle goes, I think he would.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was saying. Sorry, real quick. I'm pretty sure he hit he hit for the cycle. He was the cycle before David Bell. I'm pretty sure for the Phillies.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Okay.
I don't.
All right.
I might be right, but go on.
So his son was drafted actually in the 39th round. I love how baseball has like 800 rounds in the draft, but
Yeah.
son was drafted in the 39th round by the Nationals in 2015. It doesn't say anything beyond that. I didn't really look it up, what he was doing, but still kind of cool that he had
Yeah.
his son drafted. But yeah, I wasn't sure because I know that your era has been more kind of that purgatory period between 2012 and right before Bryce got to us,
Yeah,
basically.
right.
But and this
Yeah,
'90s
pretty
era has
much.
been. But I am very impressed with how quickly you got that with
Thank
such
you.
few clues. So
So,
I'm going to say that is my favorite one of the season because of one
yes.
that you got it. Of course I try to stump. We want to stump each other, but I have to appreciate and give you props for doing such a great
Thank you.
job because I
Oh,
did not
thank
think you were going to get that at all generally because of, again of the era, but certainly not after the few clues that I gave. So, Jim,
you. So yeah, that
I
was.
applaud you.
Thank, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. On that note, I'm gonna wrap this thing up.
Go for it.
All right, so guys, don't forget you can watch us on YouTube at Phillies Unfiltered Podcast. Listen to us on Apple and Spotify at Phillies Unfiltered Podcast. Follow us on Facebook at Phillies Unfiltered Podcast, Instagram at Phillies Unfiltered, X/Twitter at Funfiltered. That's PHUNPHILTERED. And we look
Nailed
forward
it.
to some comment. Thank you. We look forward to some comments, guys. Come on, let's see what you got for us, and we need some help sometimes, and we need some ideas, and we'd love to hear what you have to say about the current state of the team, what you're looking forward to.
Yes, absolutely. Great point, Jim. We love that, and we've been seeing a lot more engagement from some of you guys out there, and we love, like Jim
Yes,
said, we love it. If you have criticisms of us, that's fine. We have thick skin, that's fine.
it's great.
If you have things you'd like Jim said, like us to discuss, different topics, different players, whatever, let us know. But I try to do this every once in a while. I just want to thank those of you who have been with us all season. I see some people who and react to almost every post that we put up, whether it's just simply a score of a game, or even our clips from these episodes. So thank you for for following and for staying engaged with us. We really enjoy doing this, and we're glad that other people seem to
Yeah.
enjoy hearing what we have to say. So we put a lot of work into this. It's we are dads. We have very busy home lives, so we try to carve out this
Yes, we
time,
do.
it's something we put a lot of time and effort into, and we appreciate the feedback and the following. So, with that, Jim,
All right.
you want to say it?
You know what? As always, yes, I do. Go Phils.
Go Phils. Have a good night, everybody. Have a good day. Have a good week.